Lionel Messi is one of the most lovable players in modern football.
It's a brilliant run for Messi.
I mean, he's level-headed most of the time, he's fun to watch, and he certainly hasn't thrown a fan's phone to the ground like a certain number 7 did. But you'd be shocked to find out that there are still people out there who don't like the legendary Argentinian. Cause the one player we're sure has a strong grudge against Messi till this day is Mapuo Yanga Mbua. See, around 2015, the Frenchman played for Roma, and his team was booked to face Barcelona in a friendly match. Don't let the word friendly fool you though, as there was nothing cool about Messi's spat with Yanga Mbua. To the Frenchman's credit, he gave Messi a good run for his money. He was on the Argentine wizard almost all through the game, and he made sure the best player in the world wasn't going to have a field day against him. It's safe to say that Yanga Mbua was far from starstruck, as he didn't care who Messi was or how good a player the media had painted him to be. Perhaps the lack of respect for his personality upset the Barcelona forward? Who knows? One thing's for sure though, all Yanga Mbua's efforts at frustrating the Argentinian worked. Messi lost it, and he displayed his annoyance by headbutting the Roma player and grabbing his neck in an attempt to choke him. And as you would expect, Yanga Mbua called for Messi to be sent off for his actions, but to his greatest surprise, the small forward was only punished with a yellow card. Of course, this didn't go down well with the Roma player, who must have felt at the time that Messi was receiving preferential treatment. If Yanga Mbua knew Messi was gonna go scot-free after such unprofessional behavior, then maybe he'd wished he had headbutted the Argentinian in return. But the same can't be said of Álvaro Arbeloa. Certainly, you would expect some level of dislike from any Madrid player at the time towards Messi. After all, he was scoring against them at will and getting their best defenders sent off the pitch. Arbeloa's dislike for the then Barca captain was out of this world. The Spaniard didn't hide his feelings about him either, as he never had any good things to say about his team's arch-nemesis. Sure, Arbeloa is retired, but he continues to take jabs at his old foe. He once said about Messi in an interview, "I didn't like him then, and I don't like him now. I hope that he retires very soon. I am counting the days." Now, if that doesn't spell hatred for a person, then I don't know what does. Sadly for Arbeloa, it seems he has to wait a while longer for his Messi retirement dreams to come true, as the Argentinian is currently enjoying life in the MLS with his newfound love. Messi has scored 10 goals in 7 games for his new side, and I'm sure Arbeloa is keeping a close eye on him, patiently waiting for him to fall off. Till then, let's take a look at another player who has literally tried to trip Messi, and he goes by the name of Pau Lopez. For those who aren't familiar with the name, Lopez was a keeper at Espanyol, and anyone who knows Spanish football knows that they're Barcelona's fiercest local rivals. It was in a Copa del Rey match in 2016 where his hatred for Messi was brought to light. The keeper stomped Messi hard on his leg, although he claimed it was unintentional. But that didn't stop the two of them from throwing insults at each other every other time their sides met. In fact, Lopez's hatred for Messi grew to the point where he once publicly stated that he wanted a Madrid team to win the La Liga. And we know he wasn't talking about Atletico. Another player who would have felt the same way is Royston Drenthe, the Hercules player who accused Messi of repeatedly throwing racial slurs at him. In an interview after the incident, the Dutchman said, "When Hercules played Barcelona, during the game I had a small altercation with Messi. He gave me a hand in the match, and again said a few times, 'Hola!' No one knows if these accusations are true or false, but Drenthe held it against Messi for a long time. But as you would expect, Barcelona came to the defense of their star man, stating that Messi was a player who showed maximum respect at all times. Speaking about respect, I bet you didn't know that Nicolas Bordizzo had a score to settle with 7-time Ballon d'Or winner. It all started after both players subscribed to our channel. So hit the subscribe button right now, buddy. See, back in 2011 during a Copa America match, which featured both players, Argentina wasn't playing as well as expected. Messi, who was supposed to be the engine room of the team, was playing below par. Well, according to Bordizzo anyway. Assuming Paradiso kept his opinion about Messi's performance to himself, perhaps they might have still been cool to this day. But he chose to be vocal about his displeasure, and Messi wasn't having any of it. At halftime, it was reported that Paradiso went off angrily at Messi and demanded that he put in more effort in the second half. Tensions got so heated that the two men were almost coming to blows. In fact, it took the intervention of Sergio Aguero before the teammates could be separated. After that, Paradiso was heard telling Messi to, quote, pull his finger out. And while we're not too sure what that means, you can bet your last buck that it was something quite offensive. Strangely enough, Paradiso was never called back to the national team after the tournament ended. So did Messi use his influence to pull some strings and keep his locker room enemy off the team forever? Or was it just the Argentinian FA that decided that one of the warring men had to go? Well, if one of them did have to go, then there was no way on earth it would have been Messi. Sorry, Paradiso. Moving on to the next player who hates Messi. And this particular player packs a good amount of influence in his own right. He's none other than Sergio Ramos. And looking back at how cool they were at PSG, you'd find it funny that there was a time in their careers that they absolutely disliked each other. Rewind back in time a little bit, and Sergio Ramos was Real Madrid's best defender, while Lionel Messi was Barcelona's best attacker. Now, Madrid and Barca are the two biggest teams in Spain, and they've played against each other more times than they can count. As you would expect, the matches between the two sides were always heated, and at the forefront of a lot of the calamity were Ramos and Messi. Yeah, Messi was always trying to dribble past Ramos, and Ramos was always doing his best to stop him, even if it meant that the Real Madrid legend would employ shady tactics to do so. For every clash of legs, Messi and Ramos would throw a barrage of insults at each other. This happened practically in every El Clasico match that the two were involved in. In fact, Ramos has been sent off a good amount of times, all thanks to the tackles Messi invited him to make. Ramos has also accused Messi of diving on several occasions. There was a particular El Clasico match in 2019 where things got really heated between the two. And on this day, the two men faced off, and it took the timely intervention of players from both sides to quench the fire. As I mentioned earlier, it seemed Messi and Ramos became cool when they both ended up at PSG, but who knows for certain? Maybe they were just being professional. But we gotta talk about one of the greatest players to grace the pitch, who, for reasons best known to him, finds it difficult to give Messi the respect he deserves. Trust Pele to always have a say on what's happening in modern football, especially when the topic of who's better than who comes up. And in this context, the Brazilian legend on numerous occasions placed Franz Beckenbauer and Johan Cruyff well above Messi. But it wasn't until he rated Maradona higher than Messi that the world knew he had something against the Argentinian superstar. Because, as we all know, Pele didn't like Maradona either. A lot of fans had speculated that Pele was just jealous of Messi, as the media had already begun calling him the greatest ever. Perhaps Pele would have a different opinion of Messi if he was alive to watch him lead Argentina to World Cup glory in 2022. But do you think these players have good reasons to hate Messi, or are they just jealous of his success? Well, you tell me, because fans are getting pissed at this guy. See, when people began to notice that Messi doesn't touch other women, rumors had it that the superstar was living a double life, and his world began to fall apart. I bet you want to know how they nearly cost Messi his career. So click this video right now.